everyone, welcome back. How are you guys doing today? It's a lovely sunshiny day. It's quite warm here actually, but I have put together a wonderful project to share with you. So it's going into our travel journal, but as you know, these projects can go into any theme journal. But I love this one and I know that you're going to enjoy it too. So let's get to it. I think I've sort of marked the place here. Right, I haven't stuck it down, but this is basically what it looks like. All right, so I'm in the signature here on the pink circly page, and this is what I've put together. All right, so we've got our little front bit here with a collage, and you open that up. I have used single-sided paper, so don't stress about that. You've got a little place to do some journaling over there, and then over here you've got your little there's going to be a pocket. I'll be sticking it on these three sides here like that, so you'll have your postcard over here where I've just stuck some little lace flowers in there. All right, and then this is the mini envelope from my kit, and I've just stuck on, well, a little flower and a little mini journaling card. So the flower, I'll show you how I do that. It's just on the three sides, but I'll show you how I do that. All right, so that's going to go in there, and then over here we've got a library card pocket with a tag. All right, so that I've just tucked in like that, so it'll lie in there and that'll go over, and it's really a nice flat project. All right, so we can pull our little tag a little bit higher so the ears stick out so it can lie flat. Right, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to move this over to the side here, and we will be doing the same for the other signature, and it's going to be on this page. All right, so yeah, hope you're having a good week, having fun crafting. I've had a great week doing all sorts of things which I will share with you as they come to fruition, so that's that. Right, with this one I used the green paper, as you are aware, so it's the green one. Okay, this one I'm using the pink check. Right, so this piece of paper measures, I think it's 7 inches in width, and can't remember now, 6.5 inches in height. All right, so that equates to 17.5 centimeters approximately by 16.5, just over. All right, so that's what we've done there. I have made a score line, so with your 7 inches here, I have scored 4 inches from the left or 3 inches from the right, whichever way you want to do that. I'll just tell you in centimeters what that is. So if we take it from the right, it's 7.5 centimeters, which is 3 inches. All right, so I've just scored a line there, which just helps me to fold it cleanly. That's really why I do that. Okay, so there we go. That's all you want to do. And as I said, this is single-sided printed paper. All right, so there we go. And then you want to go and just distress the edges here all around. I've done it already. Okay, I'll come back to that one because we're going to stick something on there. Right, what you want to do now is I've cut a piece of paper this size, so 3 inches by 6.5. So it's your 7.5 centimeters by 16.5 centimeters. All right, and that is this paper, also single-sided, and we're going to stick it on here. All right, so let's do that quickly. Yeah, I've been having great time putting these projects together. Gosh, I just did this beforehand so that I wouldn't have to do this again, but this glue is finicky. Right, so hopefully it works. Yes, it's got some stringy bits in. All right, and then you want to get this stuck right down, so go to the corner there and the corner here, and then get that stuck down nicely. Now, did I have that slightly skew? Where I scored. All right, so there we go. I think that's right. Yeah. Right, and if you've got a bit like me now where it's slightly showing through, you just take your distress ink, you run it over. I do run the distress ink on the edges once I am complete with that on both sides. All right, so that's how I got to this piece. As simple as that. Yeah. Now I've got a little piece of lace. I tried wider lace. It didn't look right, so I'm happy with this. This is perfect. And then what you want to do is we want to just get our fabric glue on the edge here. I'm just going to go up to that little ridge there. All right. So really quickly. All right, and then you can cut that off. That one was all right already. Okay. Right, so there's your lace on already. How amazing is that? Okay, so we do it going like a bowing here. Right, the next little bit is we're going to make a little bit of a collage for the front here. Like I used the green ticket there. I'm going to use this New York one. I'm going to get it about there and I'm going to go for it. All right. Normally I like to take my pencil and painstakingly play around with things, but I have done all of that before. There's no pencil mark on this one, but I'm just using this one as a gauge. Okay, so I'm going to, it's not in the center, it's off center to the left. I'm going to just get it there. Straightish. Yeah. So there's the first bit. Now with that one, I use that little rucksack. These are just from the Fussy Cuts, the bigger sized ones. And I'm going to get that one sort of there. All right. Then I've got a little green ticket. I reversed the colors really. So this is the smally ones now. And I'm going to get that stuck in there. Okay, so let's get that on. This is a quick project. You could do this again with scraps that you have for the base and just make these bases, you know, and then just decorate them inside with, you know, depending on the theme you're using or the colors or whatever. So that's what I would suggest with that. Now we're going to have Explore over there. Yeah. And then we just need to stick on our little hand luggage. Yeah. I've got some exciting projects coming up that I will share with you that I've been busy as a bee. I do make a lot of work for myself, but I just get these ideas. Right, so there we go. Doesn't that look lovely? I like it. I do. Right, now it's really very simple. So what I did was, the joys of having a kit. These lovely library pockets, just move this out the way, is ready folded and sized. So all you have to do is put them together so they slide in the back piece to the pocket like that. And then what I've done here is I actually stuck this on 3 sides. Okay, you can stick it all over. This is the side I don't want glue. So I was going to actually tuck something in here. Got that all down. Right, a little bit more down there. Now I'm not going to tuck something in, but it's a place for you to stick things in. Right, so if we do that like this. Now luckily these lines give you a rough idea. All right, so you've got a pocket here for something that you can tuck in. All right, this one gets its little tag in there. Yeah. And what else? Right, we want to do our little envelope. So this one I've used this mini envelope. Okay. And now this one I'm using the other one. They're 2 in a pack. All right, I printed just a neutral bit on the back. You don't have to do that. You can just take your stencil and stencil something there with antique linen or whatever you want. vintage photo is fine. Right, so now what I want to do is I want to get this stuck on here. But what I did was I took this first and I took this like this so I could see how I wanted it. Yeah, like that. And will that be okay over here? So that's sort of where I want it. So now I'm holding the two together and I just turn that over and just draw on the back like that. Right, so now you know where you don't want to glue. So I don't want to go too close there, but it just gives me an idea of where the card will go, if you know what I mean. All right, so sort of keeping away from there, but that's enough to house this in place. All right, so now we want to get that sort of like this, yeah, and just check in. This is probably why it's stuck to the other one. All right, so you can now just get that down. You should really let it dry before you put the card in. That's where I went wrong with the other one. So now you've got a pocket with your flower like that. Okay, but I'm going to just let it dry for a minute. All right, so with this one, I've just stuck a little bit of ribbon there, pink on there and green on there. All right, and then with this card, I've just stuck two of these lace pieces. They're little flowers from my kit. All right, I've still got ultimate bundles if you're interested, just a few left for those of you who are wondering. Right, so that's going to tuck in underneath there. We are going to close that up like that there. Let's just get our little tag a little bit further out, yeah. Then we've got our little pocket over here, and we're going to stick this in like that, okay. And we're just going to tuck that in over there. Now, when it's in your actual journal, on your journal page, all right, this will lie flatter, all right, so that'll keep it in place. And that's how it will look, and the same with this one. Now, if you're wanting to put a secret note or something, it can still go in there. So you've got a little spot to do so. All right, and then this one is like that and like that. Yeah, love all the layers. And then just quickly so you can see, this one we'll put onto the gold circles, so you can move that in as much as you need to. All right, so there we go. Isn't that pretty? I do like it. And then the other one we did earlier, I should say. We'll go on to this one. Okay, everyone, that's our little project for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Go and have some fun with it, and as I say, go and take those scrappy bits, especially this with single-sided pages, and go and make the bases. Stick on some lace if you've got it as well, and have it ready so when you're making journals you can go and use these as one of your maths makes. Right, have a wonderful weekend. I will see you very soon with another little project. Stay well. Bye-bye.